Okay, class, that was a great discussion. I'm now going to start the reading of The Princess and the Pizza by Mary Jane and illustrated by Herm Ock. Princess Paulina needed a job. Her father had given up his throne to become a wood carver and moved them to a humble shack in a neighboring kingdom. Since the king was still learning, his carvings didn't sell, and Paulina's garden barely kept enough on the table. Paulina missed princessing. She missed walking the peacock in the royal garden, surveying the kingdom from the castle tower, and doing the princess wave in royal processions. Okay, so I'm going to pause there. Just off of that first story, who do you think this story will be about? Who is the main character? Yes, so Princess Paulina is the main character. Good job. And where does this story take place? Think back to what I just read. You could even use the illustrations. Yes, you can see that this is a kingdom, okay? This is a kingdom where there are princesses and kings and queens. Wonderful job. Going to continue reading. Paulina tried walking a stray chicken around her shack, but it only pecked at her bare toes. Surveying the kingdom from the shack's leaky roof made even more holes. She tried princess waving to the townspeople from her father's cart, but nobody bothered to wave back. They just thought she was swatting at flies. Okay, off of this page and what I have read, how do you think Princess Paulina is feeling? Okay, you could look at the illustration, look at her face. Think about what I had just read. Okay, you are going to be making an inference. Okay, so make an educated guess off of the illustration and what I have read. Yes, so it looks like she's feeling a little down. She's wanting the attention from the townspeople, but she's not getting it. Wonderful job. One day, a page rode past the shack, announcing that Queen Zelda of Blam was seeking a true princess to become the bride of her son, Prince Drupal. This is my chance to get back at princessing, Paulina cried. She rummaged through her trunk of ex-princess stuff, brushed the wood shavings from her best ball gown, and blew away the bits of sawdust that clung to her diamond tiara. Then she tucked a piece of garlic into her bodice for good luck, snipped some fragrant herbs to cover up the garlic smell, and headed for the castle. Okay, so I want you to think what has just happened. This is a very important detail. What do you think has just happened? Yes, okay. She is going to try to become a princess. Okay, and it tells you how. She's going to try by going to the Queen of Zelda of Blam. Okay, she's going to go and see her, and she's going to try to become the princess, the wife of Prince Drupal. Well done. Paulina didn't expect much competition. There wasn't another princess for hundreds of miles, but when she got to Blom Castle, Paulina found she was only one of 12 princesses hoping to become a royal bride. When she looked into her assigned room, Paulina saw her bed piled with 16 mattresses. Oh, for Pete's sake, the old princess and the pea trick. That's so once upon a time. Naturally, Paulina didn't sleep all night because she felt the lumpy pee through all the mattresses. When the 12 princesses gathered in the throne room the next morning, the 7 who looked bright-eyed were sent home. Not now only Paulina and 4 other sleepy princesses remained. First, they were made to write essays entitled, "Why I Want to Have the Gracious and Exquisitely Beautiful Queen Zelda for My Mother-in-Law." Prince Drupal and Queen Zelda finally appeared on the balcony. Queen Zelda did all the talking. "Congratulations, ladies! You have written some lovely essays, which I will keep in my scrapbook, and you have all passed the mattress test. But to make absolutely sure you are of royal blood, there is a second test. Only a true princess can wear these glass slippers." "For Pete's sake, you never heard of sneakers?" Paulina asked. Queen Zelda gave Paulina a sharp look. "Nobody said you had to hike in them. Just try them on." After the royal page made his way around the room with the slippers, two big-footed princesses were sent home. Now only Paulina and two others remained. One was followed around by seven strange little men, and the other had such a long braid dragging behind her, Paulina kept tripping over it. For Pete's sake, you never heard of scissors? Paulina cried. Queen Zelda glared at Paulina. You have all passed the second princess test. Your final task is to cook a feast that proves you are worthy of being my dear Drupert's wife. This set up a wail among the princesses, especially Paulina. For Pete's sake! You have no royal chef? Silence, said the queen. The table holds the makings for three fine feasts. Choose well, for the winner will become my dear Drupert's bride. As Paulina started for the table, the long-haired princess tripped her, then loaded up the food. By the time Paulina got there, the seven strange little men had run off with everything but some flour, yeast, water, three overripe tomatoes, and a hunk of stale cheese. Hey, that's not fair. Queen Zelda, will you help me? No, said the queen, because you have a big mouth. A servant escorted Paulina to her room and locked the door. Hey, how can I cook without a bowl or spoons or pots? There was no reply. Paulina tried to make bread, kneading the flour, water, and yeast together, but it only stuck to the tray in a flattened mess. She squished in the tomatoes over the dough to brighten it up. It looked awful. She sprinkled cheese gratings over the top. It was still a mess, and Paulina was exhausted. For Pete's sake! Where's your fairy godmother when you need her? I'm going to take a nap. She reached under the pile of mattresses, pulled out the offending pea, and climbed into bed. She hadn't been sleeping long when there was a knock at the door. Only 20 minutes left, called Queen Zelda, and I don't smell anything cooking. I'm not cooking, said Paulina. I'm napping. Then I'm going home. You're not going anywhere, said the queen. The losers will be beheaded. Paulina sat bolt upright. Beheaded? You didn't tell us that. I forgot, said the queen. Can't I have a second chance? How about I try to spin straw into gold? Or maybe I could guess a weird little man's name. No second chances, declared the queen. But that's not fair, Paulina cried. Who needs to be fair? I'm the queen. Okay, so far, what different tasks has Princess Paulina had to complete to go for the competition? Well, remember, in your response, you have to include the most important key details. Okay, so the most important key details would include all the different tasks she's had to complete for this competition. Okay, so think back. What has she had to do? Yes, there was the pea that she had to notice in the mattresses. There was the different steps she had to take. If we flip back, right? This is skimming the pea in the mattresses. Okay, they had to create an essay about how amazing Queen Zelda was. They had to fit into some tiny heels. And now they are creating a feast. Let's see how it goes. Paulina leaped out of bed and ran to the window, but it was an unbelievably long drop to the ground. The meal was her only hope. She rushed a tray over to the fireplace, stirred the few remaining hot coals, then crushed her garlic and sprinkled it over the mess for good luck. Finally, Paulina tossed on the herbs to cover up the garlic smell. Paulina paced back and forth, planning her escape. Perhaps she could make a deal with the long-haired princess to climb down her braid. She didn't notice that the goopy dough had browned into a crust, the tomatoes were bubbling, the hard bits of cheese had melted, and the fragrance of garlic and herbs filled the room. A page opened the door. Time's up! Paulina took a deep breath, and she carried her tray into the great dining room. The other princesses had made lovely feasts, especially the one who had the seven strange little men to help her. Prince Drupert went right to Paulina's tray. It's not pretty, but it smells scrumptious. He helped himself to an unusually generous piece. What do you call this dish? Paulina shrugged. I don't know. It can't be an official entree in the contest if it doesn't have a name, said the queen. Oh, for Pete's sake, Paulina muttered. What's that? Snapped the queen. Pete's what? Remembering the beheading threat, Paulina frantically tried to think of a name. It's Pete's, pizza. The queen took a big bite. Odd name, but it's tasty. The winner is Paulina's pizza. You mean I won't be beheaded? I was only kidding about the beheading, said the queen. Then I was only kidding about wanting to marry Prince Drupert. Who needs him? I have other plans. Okay, think about what we have just read. In the end, how did Princess Paulina win the competition and the chance to be Prince Drupert's wife? Yes, good job. She created a pizza. Okay, her feast. Her feast was the pizza. Will you leave your recipe? Asked the queen. No way, said Paulina. It's just become a family secret. She headed for the door. I liked you best, whined the queen, falling close behind. Oh, for Pete's sake, muttered Paulina as she stomped across the drawbridge. Paulina's Princess Paulina's Pizza Palace opened a few weeks later. It featured unusual carved furniture and 50 kinds of pizza. Every Thursday, on the royal chef's night off, Queen Zelda and Prince Drupert came to Paulina's for popcorn pineapple pizza. They often stayed to play cards with Paulina's father. From then on, whenever Paulina drove her pizza delivery cart through town doing the princess wave, everybody waved back and ran after her, asking about the day's specials. Life was good. Paulina was grateful not to have Queen Zelda for a mother-in-law, but she still worried about one little thing. Before I continue, think about how does the story end? What does Princess Paulina choose to do with her life? Did she become a queen? Did she end up marrying Prince Rupert? What do you think? No, you're right. If we turn back, she says no to becoming Prince Rupert's wife, and she ends up starting a pizza shop. Good job. The last page says she only worried about getting Queen Zelda as her stepmother. Good job. Flipping back to the last page. I want you to think about how Princess Paulina looked in the beginning. I want you to compare. How do you think Princess Paulina is feeling in comparison to the start of the story? You're right. She's looking much happier. It says she's grateful in the text. Her face is now smiling. Yeah, she's finally getting the attention she wanted from the townspeople. Wonderful job. Good job. So today we did a really great job at listening and reading through this story, and we learned about summarizing. Okay, the practice of summarization and how we can get better at it. So what we're going to do next is we are going to continue practicing summarization. Thank you, class. Good job.